Welcome back, everybody, to the Tennessee Titans franchise. It's time for our second offseason of the series here today. What a year it was. Hard to summarize it with a season that was as much of a roller coaster ride as the one that we just had. And ended up going on a great run, but things aren't quite there yet for our team. We got some work to do, and I think some pretty big challenges for today's rebuild. Everything working. This is only my second stream since updating the software here, and I normally don't update software just so things don't break themselves. I think we're okay. A rebuild of titanic proportions continues. The Titans are now 2 years into this series, and we're coming off an AFC Championship appearance. We were one play away from making it to the Super Bowl. But it's the Bills who advance to take on the Chicago Bears, and we'll find out if the AFC captures the Super Bowl in this season as well. The Bengals won it back in year one. I have not yet simmed to Super Bowl week just because I was doing stuff on this screen and didn't want to advance yet. Appreciate you becoming a member for the 6th straight month. Amazing. Thank you. Half a year, that's right. Let me just get my screen set up here the way I want it. What happened with the UTSA dynasty? So right now I only have 2 series going on the main channel. It's just easier to juggle 2 series. It's a lot easier to juggle 1, but I will not be looking to do 3 series at a time right now on the main channel. So it's the Rockies season currently. When that's done, I'll look to go back to UTSA, but it's going to be a little bit of a break. Love the content. Been around since Jags franchise. I've watched nearly every video since. Thanks for the content. Appreciate that, Sir Camsta. See you here all the time. So we got a lot of possibilities, I think, for this offseason. And I made sure to take some time to go through the draft a bit this morning. It's hard on stream for a number of reasons. There's a lot of feedback in the comments, and I try to keep the offseason moving along and everything the best that I can, but also just the information here on the players. I find it very difficult to rank players. So what I've done, Jacob, thank you. I'm a Chargers fan and my cousin is a Viking fan. Let's just say it was not a fun wild card weekend. Love all your content. Oh man, keep it up. Thank you so much, Jacob. And yeah, wild card weekend wasn't great for us Chargers or Vikings fans, that's for sure. Yeah, I can show off the sliders native, that's not a problem. Celebrate the first super chat. I've never seen that pop up before. Thank you very much. So you got to keep in mind that in this series I am on version 1.07 of Madden. So every time I load up Madden, I have to stop the update from downloading, because now it's on 1.12. I'm 5 patches behind. If you go to Matt 10 sliders on the Operation Sports forums, that's the sliders that I use, and he's got a newer set for the newer patch. And he just told me the other day that he likes where it's at. I talk to him a lot, but I haven't updated my sliders significantly in a while. But I don't think things will be drastically different. But see what he's got. I like the games. We look at sliders the same way. And we become pretty good friends just because of sliders bringing us together in the first place. Love the series, Kane. Been here since Madden 12. Helped me get through my childhood and through some rough times. Love your videos. Appreciate the kind words, everybody. What I was saying before about the scouting is that I just find it a bit overwhelming at times to rank players and compare players because it's not convenient. You have to go in and out of menus and this guy has good to great speed, but that guy has solid to good speed, and then it just gets really messy. So what I did earlier is I went through the players on my board, and I just wrote in my notes, I gave them a grade. I'm not ranking the players, I simply gave them a grade. I take this player in the first round, take this player in the third round. So I think that'll help me save some time and make better decisions in the draft. Number one player in this draft, by the way, is Devian Bynes, a wide receiver, a player I love the draft, but thankfully we were not bad enough to actually go and get Devian Bynes. Appreciate you becoming a member, Ryan. Thank you. Also, the servers have been really weird the last couple days, and sometimes getting in and out of these menus is like taking 10 seconds to load, and so I didn't want to have that for the stream, so I put some time into that kind of prep this morning. But the draft will be coming up. I'm looking forward to it, although we do not have a second round pick, so I may have to get creative. When will your first mock be? Who do you want for Minnesota? I didn't do a mock last year. I'll try to get around to it this year, but I don't really know anything about this upcoming class outside of some of the big names. For the Vikings, though, I'm really just looking at them hopefully getting an impact player anywhere on defense. They haven't been able to draft good young talent defensively for a few years, so I don't care if it's a pass rusher, a good defensive tackle, or a corner. I think you've got to go and get someone to build around. My opinion on the XFL, I'm really excited about it, and I'm kind of disappointed that I picked the exact start time of the first game. Like right now, the Vegas Vipers are playing, and they have a bunch of players that I wanted to see, like Martavis Bryant and Paul Dawson, and a bunch of guys who were drafted a few years ago when I was really more in the draft coverage. Switch scheme to 4-3, Simmons and Landry might benefit from the change. I'm not so worried about benefiting the veterans. I think they're okay, and I like our scheme a lot. I've gotten comfortable with the defensive scheme. But it's clear we don't have a lot of scheme fits. I think our scheme's all right. You know, we'll see where the roster is once we get to the season. I honestly don't think it makes a big difference, 4-3 to 3-4. A couple nuances that are different, but I'm not worried about it. All right, Bills and Bears in the Super Bowl. We have some upgrading to take care of at the same time for the Rookies of the Year. See, I've actually really liked doing 3-4 defenses for run defense. I know this one hasn't gone well, but the Chargers did, the Broncos did. I think I changed the Broncos to a 4-3 though at some point. Not against it, but there's a lot of stuff in this playbook that I like in our nickel and our 3-3-5. So regardless, I need to keep around a lot of that stuff. The other thing I can do is, so within 3-4, there are different packages you can do that basically turn it into a 4-3. I forget what it's called, but you can come out in a 4-3 front, even from this same playbook. So I might have to experiment more and see what it takes for us to stop the run more reliably, because that's kind of, whatever helps us do that is probably what we should do. Hey, Kane, what's your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, and I honestly thought that there would be limited drama around an eventual re-signing for Lamar. Just, I've always thought of him as a pretty high-level quarterback, and I don't get on his passing as much as a lot of people do. Like, he's never going to lead the league in completion percentage, but I don't really have concerns about Lamar as a long-term starting quarterback. The player that I thought was actually going to be more, like, maybe we'd see a messy situation with them in the team was like Kyler Murray, because I think Murray's a step down from Lamar. But Murray seemed to have a pretty standard extension process, whereas Lamar's is looking really messy, and with what seems to be a standoff coming up with a franchise tag. I haven't really seen Anthony Richardson. I just know that everybody's going to argue about him for the next 3 months. See, I wouldn't really hesitate to give Lamar a massive deal. Kyler's the one where I didn't think I would give the massive deal to. And part of it is you got a few years of seeing him not healthy in the second half of years and what's happened to that team down the stretch. They had an ugly playoff exit 2 years ago, and I was just less convinced about Kyler over a 17-game season and everything. Do I think I underused Hardman? In the first half of the year, not so much in the second half. I felt like I started to use screens and stuff more often with him and Ridley, which I really came to like. I'm not usually a wide receiver screen guy, but there are obviously looks where it's advantageous. Time to get these Titans to the Super Bowl. Let's go. I agree, Warren. We're a step, we were one play away. Oh my. And now the Bills lose by 1. Just gut-wrenching. The Bills, 0-5 now in Super Bowls. David Montgomery is the Super Bowl MVP for this year, just as we all predicted in the offseason. So, nobody can say that I ripped off the Bears in the trades now. They won the Super Bowl with Robert Woods and Taylor Lewan. I gotta check that box score. Fields gets a ring. That's right. It only took a couple years. We can take a look at Chicago's roster too. Yes. At what point are you an OG of the channel? Feels like Sammy Hollins was just a year ago. Well, Sammy Hollins, that's way back when. Like over the years, I've moved a lot. And so sometimes I associate different eras and series with where I was living at the time. And I did Sammy Hollins before I ever moved in the first place. I've moved like 3 times since then. How about Chicago, man? What a run. Come from behind, 4th quarter win for Justin Fields. Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns as the Bills come up short. David Montgomery, Super Bowl MVP, had a 70-yarder in this game, 138 yards. Robert Woods, 5 for 88. Montgomery, 43 through the air. Quiet AFC title and Super Bowl for Stephon Diggs. And then they would have had Taylor Lewan playing as well. Let's check out their roster quick. If you haven't done so, by the way, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the stream. That's very helpful. And I'll try when this is over to go down below and label where certain parts of the offseason are if you want to get on to the draft or whatever it is. I'm not expecting everyone to necessarily watch this all in one go either. So there aren't like a ton of 80 overall plus players on this team. Obviously, it's a shock for the Bears to go and win the Super Bowl this season. We gave him a number 1 receiver, though, and they drafted Chuck Blackwell early, so they quickly got a competent receiving core. We traded them Taylor Lewan at the deadline, and the offensive line, you know, it isn't great. I'm not here to justify the Bears like, yes, they should have won a Super Bowl, but they did. It's not an outstanding defense. You got a couple really good players. That's a surprise. Do I have anyone I could or would like to trade? With this team, possibly. You see, it's tough because the 2 best trade candidates don't have a ton of depth behind them right now. And that would be Harold Landry and Zach Cunningham. 2 guys on big contracts, but we have to replace them. So that's where it gets trickier. Like, Landry plays a more premium position, so it's easier to replace Zach Cunningham. But I don't really think I'm trading away anybody this year. Tag and trade Ridley? See, I have to get Derrick Henry under contract first, and that might require the franchise tag. And I kind of want to bring back Ridley because I think he's the best player for us to have return. I think he's the best receiver we could end up with before next year. I just upgraded you. So we're here in staff week now. Let's see if we ended up losing anybody. I don't think I've actually seen any of my coordinators get hired away in any series yet. And everything is still the same. I'm not making any changes there. Yeah, he doesn't want to stay, right. Ridley had no interest in coming back, which was a little surprising, but just the way it is. I also took note of the draft stories already. So I have a lot of notes here that we could talk about at some point. We could look to upgrade the franchise staff. I like to spend my stuff mostly on like the coordinators and head coach. So I'll probably do this more in the preseason. I don't really do anything with the player personnel side because I already find, the offseason isn't all that difficult, honestly. So yeah, I'm not going to touch that. This song is fire. What's it called? Subway Dreams. It's in the YouTube audio library. All right, we're moving on to the re-sign players stage. A one-off video in the OG head coach game. I'm not sure how I do that exactly because head coach, just by the nature of the game and the console it was on, hard to do anything quickly. I like things that don't like drag on, and that's why I haven't gone back to head coach in a little while. I do have abilities on. Yes, I do in this series. Let's check on retirements. Harrison Smith, Linval Joseph, Tyrod Taylor. So I already expected to replace Linval Joseph, but now we have to find a backup quarterback. And here are some of the players that will not be available. Trent Williams would have been nice to have around because sometimes you can find those older offensive linemen. Oh, man. I saw that Rodney Hudson was going to be a free agent, and I thought he'd be somebody we could go after. But now he's not going to be a choice for us. I don't really have good XP sliders yet in here. I changed them just recently. They were a lot lower because there was a popular set on Operation Sports and I was using them. I'm going to change these up, but it's what I have plugged in for time being. It's really nothing special. Yeah, progressive fatigue is going to stay off because it hasn't been tuned properly and the CPU mismanages it too much. I want to check out the mock draft for this year. At this point, they have Antonio Harmon at number 1, Montel Fitzsimmons, Luke Bolton. So a couple tackles going early. Wow, I didn't know that Crowder was like a top 5 caliber guard. He was one of the first round linemen I thought could be a solid day 1 starter. Quincy Saunders has fallen a bit. They got Devian Bynes at 11. Man, I'd love to get Devian Bynes. The issue is that we already lack a second round pick. So trading up it gets tougher. I know we have 2 3s. But there are a lot of holes on this team and a lot of areas where we don't have a lot of depth. That makes it tough. I want to see who they have us taking. I have somebody in mind, and it's not Chris Wembley, the day 3 projected center, who also has big injury concerns. So there is a wide receiver that I liked a lot. that isn't in this first round, and to me was the second best receiver. So I want to show him off first. Now, as a comparison, this is Devian Bynes. He is the #1 receiver in the draft. Good to great speed, good to great acceleration. He has A ball carrier vision, short route running, deep route running, spec catch, awareness. Has a couple things to work on, but enough strengths and is a really good athlete. And we already know his talent is going to be top 5, so there's no arguing with it there. But the receiver I really like, I guess he got bumped down a bit. I like A.J. Bingham as the second best receiver in this class. He's a playmaker archetype, and he is supposed to be a pretty good athlete. And I do like that he has good juke and spin to go with the deep route running, the medium route running, B catching, a couple things that look a little low. But I thought he would have been a fine option as well if we need to go receiver early. And then I have grades on all the guys I like. So, Sidney Smith, the long short of him is he's going to have like 98 speed and good deep route running, but everything else sucks. And so I don't really know what to do with that. I have him as a second round grade. Lockley I have as fringe 1 to 2. He's a big body physical receiver who's less athletic, so you're hoping he turns out to be Mike Williams. Really good spec catch, really good catch in traffic, but a player who might get off to a slow start with the route running and lack of athleticism. Kind of a risky player. And then Lippett, I had a second round grade on him. 5'8", 175, smaller, agile, definitely fast, but didn't have the juke or spin that I wanted there. I wanted some good run after the catch skills. Does seem to have some good break tackle, B deep route running, but the rest are D's. To me, he's a second round player, not so much a first. Let's see. I gave Rashad Polite a third round grade. He's just a gadget player and not at all refined as a receiver. I gave Nix a 7th round grade. I really wasn't impressed with him. Galloway is just a step up as a 6th round grade from me. So Bingham was the one I felt was the most realistic for us to end up with. And I got grades for pretty much all the positions. I skipped a couple because I didn't need the info on the running backs that bad. But we'll talk more and more about the draft the closer that we get. But receivers definitely something to talk about because right now we have Calvin Ridley, a free agent, and we have McCole Hardman, a free agent. Now, right off the bat, I'm not going to be signing Hardman. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lowball him because I want to see what the franchise tag number is at wide receiver. So I'm going to offer him a small contract. I'm guessing it's got to be $20 million. Oh. 30. Then you got Calvin Ridley, who I would like to come back. 46/3 with no interest in coming back. Oh yeah, we have to check on dev traits and regression. I'm sorry, I'm skipping some stuff here. All right, we got Henry at X Factor, Ridley and Hardman at star. Did Burks, was he ever a star? No. Love the content, but I myself as a Patriots fan think we need help in the draft and free agency. What do you think we should do and go after? The Patriots just have a really unspectacular vanilla offense, and I think they've got to go and get a game changer somewhere. I like Ramondre Stevenson, but the tight end signings didn't really do what I thought they might. When they invested between Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, it had to have been over $80 million or something in contract value. I thought there would be more happening there. I think that they've got to figure out the receiver spot, and they really haven't ever drafted that very well. They got a good defense, but I think it just comes down to playmakers right now. You don't have Tom Brady anymore, and Tom Brady used to drag that offense with him, and now you need a better supporting cast. Yep, Sal Sexton is at star. Love that. So that's due to his Rookie of the Year. I think next year we can possibly get him up to Superstar. Yeah, Mostert's way down, man. Yeah, he's not going to be coming back most likely. What did they do to him? 27 points. Quarterback breakouts don't trigger very often, so it's hard. I don't think Derrick Henry regressed a whole lot. Yeah, it didn't regress at all. Yeah, he's got 93 speed, but 93 isn't, like, I think every point there matters. Like 90 speed versus 94, I do think there's a difference there, a pretty good one. Riddick is a superstar. He was already a superstar. So they didn't reward him with X Factor, but I still think superstar is excellent, and you can develop very fast with it. Yeah, I'm surprised that Cunningham didn't, but I wonder if he... no. I thought maybe that he would have earned it and then just got knocked down. Guess not. Hey, got a new member on the channel. It's Arca. Hope I'm saying that right. Byard's an X Factor now. Yep, he had all those interceptions. Had a pretty big season for us, so that's positive. But obviously, this team still lacks, like, above normal development players across the board. Just something we have to continue to try and do, and we're about to lose 2 receivers potentially. Arica. Sorry. Appreciate you becoming a member. I'll try harder the next time I see that name. One more solid alignment for sure. And I have a lot of targets in this class at all 5 positions. It's really more so the chat's trying to get rid of Ridley. I still want Ridley to come back, but I know it's going to be tough to make that work. I think we should begin, though, with Derrick Henry, because under no circumstances do I want him not coming back. I will offer a 3-year deal, and honestly, he's not wanting anything that's ridiculous. He wants 3 years, 31.4. He wants 10.5 a year. This offer right here would be 3 years and 36 million. And we're a good fit for him. He views us as favorites now for the Super Bowl. So I should be able to bring this down a little bit, maybe. He wants 10.5 a year. Yeah, let's go. Ooh. Let's see what his neutral would be. All right, that's 10.5 a year. I'm very surprised that he at 96 overall isn't asking for more. I'm gonna offer this right here. All right, Derrick Henry is under contract, a 3-year extension. honestly a much smaller deal than I had imagined. Have you ever heard of Momentum Football? I'm not really familiar. A football game simulator on paper. I'd have to check it out. I'm not familiar with that. We got Ridley. We got Hardman. Rankins we're going to let hit free agency. James Hurst we're going to let hit free agency. Yeah, I'd like to keep our draft picks and have, really turn the bottom of this roster over. And with the regression here of Manhurts, I'm going to be looking for a different tight end. If I want him in preseason, he's going to be there, I imagine. We'll let Jamarco Jones test. Dennis Daly on a 1-year deal. Sure. Who else we got here? Javon Bernard. I wonder if he even takes this. He used to get the 60 overall guys for anything. Not like that now with the interest system. Autry we let go. So we have a lot of cap space right now, but I feel like we're only going to have a handful of players under contract going into free agency. So I've got to manage that at least somewhat carefully. All right. So it should just now be Calvin Ridley. Yeah, Autry finished the season quite strong. I was happy with him. All right. It's just Ridley now. And at 29 years old, I have interest in him coming back. I'll increase the offer. We might have to go to the open free agency, though, and just try to make it work. I think he'll regress okay because he has so many strengths. He is good. He has good hands. He does have good route running. 5 favorite defensive players to watch. Well, I'll first say, as a Viking fan, Harrison Smith, because he's really a chess piece, and he's a smart player. So I feel that he plays safety differently than most play safety. I think Fred Warner's a lot of fun to watch, and typically whoever the best linebacker is at the time in the league is usually quite fun to watch. I like Jalen Ramsey a lot, always have. That's 3. Gotta show some love to some D-line. I mean, obviously Aaron Donald, but I try to not go for like the most glaring obvious. Yeah, we got to go Micah. Micah Parsons is a freak. Unbelievable. And not Chad Greenway. Sauce Gardner's fun to watch. He is. I'm a Grady Jarrett fan. If I had to make another top 5 call, I'm gonna go Chris Jones. I really like watching those guys who can play inside and just bust things up and ruin these beautifully designed plays by the offensive minds of the league. I'm gonna make this offer. I know he ain't gonna take it. We're gonna have to go to free agency. That's just the way it's going to be. I'm not tagging him for $30 million. There could be somebody else out there at a different position I want to be able to go after, and I don't want to have $30 million going to a receiver that dropped a play that would take us to the Super Bowl. So how many players are even under contract right now? 47. Some of those are practice squad players. So you still got Jenkins, Church, Davis, and Petit Frere, Dennis Daly. So you've got to think about this interior a bit, particularly center. We got 2 tight ends under contract, only a couple receivers with serious experience. And then on defense, Byard, Landry. Yeah, the starters are in place on defense. Do have to find another defensive end. A lot of the replacing is going to be depth, which we could handle. So whoever the best free agents are, it shouldn't be an issue to go after them. Let's see. We have still like 100 million cap space. Best free agent available is Nick Bosa, who has no interest in us. Rashawn Gary, who has no interest in us. Mike Evans, Devin White, Jalen Johnson, Calvin Ridley, Chris Lindstrom. Does anybody have interest? Okay. Just wanted to see if that was even possible. Clowney. I also, one thing I did is I edited the contract for Justin Herbert so he wouldn't be a free agent in our league. I was curious what the Chargers did to make space. Did they end up cutting a bunch of guys? See, here's where I edited his contract. They fired their offensive coordinator after the wild card, and they're making a coordinator change this year after losing in the wild card. That's pretty cool. I don't think they did anything yet. Favorite quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends to watch? At quarterback, my favorite quarterback to watch, it's hard. Probably Mahomes right now. At receiver, obviously Jefferson. Tight end, probably go Kelsey, because tight end's a bit light in the NFL right now. Feels like we only got to watch George Kittle be George Kittle for like 3 games this year. Go get some barbecue, and you can put the Marquise Walker series music on at some point. What's the Marquise Walker music again? I could find it. I know I still have it. Appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. What's the goal for Malik in Titans franchise season 3? Hopefully just protect the ball better and pick up where he left off, at least in terms of being able to hit some difficult passes downfield. Any decent receiving backs in the upcoming draft or young receivers you could potentially move to pass catching running back role? Yeah, actually there are, Rec. There's a couple. I went through earlier and I graded all the receivers, but the one where it's like, I know you could do something, but I know you can't do everything. That's going to be my guy for that is Rashad Polite. He's 5'8", 177, and he's going to have elite speed and acceleration. And I also know he has juke and C-spin, A kick return, but he's not developed as a playmaker in any way. He might be a better fit at running back than receiver, just because you don't know what to do with him, really. But he's intrigued me, just because I want to get somebody with that elite speed. Yeah, the run block, too, just seems so random to be good. What's the Marquise Walker music, though? Let me pull up a video quick, because I don't mind making the change now. I've already listened to this one 48 times today. Which one is this? You know what? Maybe I should open up like a later episode and... Look who has returned, getting pick first round and 31st overall. Glenn, it's a batting draft. I don't... I'll figure it out. Worst team I've had in my channel history? Like a specific team? Because year one of this squad was really up there. Beginning of the Broncos too, man. It was, even with good defensive personnel, it was pretty ugly. Hey, Mike, if you can call out an episode and just have me click on that and figure out what it is, I should be able to figure it out. All right, we have to go to free agency and sign somebody. So, there's Nick Bosa, $30 million a year. We got Rashawn Gary, who's only looking for 22. Mike Evans at 21.6. Chris Lindstrom's available as well. And that would be a nice upgrade at guard. That'd actually be a pretty nice signing. Start of episode 7. Let me just look that up quick. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Marquee. Can you hear this? Career mode series episode. We're not very with a 5-3 record, identical with the. All right, I got it. Might take me a couple tries to remember the name exactly. But that's a classic. So I think Lindstrom is one of the better options for us to go after. Leonard Williams for the D-line also is intriguing. J.J. Watt actually has some interest in us. Hargrave and Clowney are also kind of intriguing. I'd prioritize players I could sign to multi-year deals. What do I think about Purdy's future if healthy? Seems like he has, especially if he stayed in San Francisco and didn't have to adapt to a new scheme and new team, like, at the very least, it seems like he could be an average starting quarterback based off of what we've seen to this point. But it's hard to say if he were to go somewhere else. And then also, like, all of a sudden missing a year, like, what would he look like coming out of the injury if it does keep him out for the entire year? San Francisco, man, they have such a good thing going there, but just the quarterback injuries are pretty crazy. So I know I will be offering a contract to Calvin Ridley. I'm very comfortable having him on the team, and I know how to use him. So that's where I'm going to get the ball rolling here. And nobody else is interested yet. So can I get this into the green is what I'm wondering. That's green. So that's not a bad start. Yeah, my worst bust is, of course, Adam Kane. I forget for free agency where I like to keep the camera, but why don't we try something... If I'm up here, I'm not blocking any of those ratings. Let me see if I can find that song quick, because I'd like to listen to that one, actually. It's not a memorable name to me. No. I got so many songs in here now. There it is. I listen to a lot of different music. It honestly depends. I listen to a lot of a little bit of classic rock. I think it's the most timeless music there is. And I also like a lot of, I don't really know, because I have a hard time sometimes, not that it's like super weird music or whatever, it's quite common, but like whenever I look up the artist, it's always like indie pop or like all these like partial genres, and it's like I don't know how to categorize you. I don't know what bucket you go in. Song name in the YouTube audio library, it's called Marlboro Light. I'll have to check that out, Mike. I've definitely wanted to find some more classic rock stuff, or, you know, maybe there is some more modern stuff, but I haven't really found that as much. Exactly, Quentin. All right, so we want Ridley to come back, but then I also like having that speedy gadget guy, and the fastest available would be Quez Watkins, McCole Hardman in a return, Robbie Anderson, Rashard Hightower, who is only a 65 overall, and then Andy Isabella, Cavante Turpin, Curtis Samuel. So I think Quez Watkins would also be pretty interesting, doing a lot of the same stuff that Hardman did, and I think that there might be maybe even a couple things he does better. Let's see. They're both 26. He's 4 overall lower. Yeah, route running edge still goes to Hardman. And spin and juke. So, yeah. Still going to go Hardman over him. And I'm not against Hardman coming back for another season, but I will be trying to challenge him. And I'm just going to offer a 1-year contract right now. It's not too big. I have to be careful because I can only offer 5 right now, and I want to make those 5 count, so I'll pull it if I have to. But we talked about Chris Lindstrom being available, and he is not in his 30s, and he's starting caliber. I think this would be really, really solid for us, and eliminate necessarily a need to take an early lineman. So he doesn't have a lot of interest in us. We know we're going to have to boost this offer. And then probably move like Timmy Church into center. Or Lindstrom could even maybe play center. Sometimes if a guy has played center at some point in his career, whether it be college or another period, I'll move them and say it makes sense. Not as easy to move guys into center in real life. It's not a position everybody's used to. You know, I went through Rodgers earlier, and I wasn't quite as impressed as I thought I would be. I had him graded out as a second-round player, actually. Bosa or Gary and trade Landry, that's certainly a possibility, and trading would give us some necessary draft capital. No, I'm not a Titans fan. I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Gary would like Titans if you change scheme to 3-4 under. What do we run? What is it classified as in here that he doesn't like so much? Probably base 3-4, yeah. Well, let's see if we can make the numbers better too, because like doesn't change up my playbook necessarily. We do run a 3-4 under. What do you want from me? Or no, 3-4 under is what we run. He probably wants to play something else. The base 3-4 does give us a better number, and I like some of those archetype changes too. I'm gonna go base. I am getting excited for baseball season, Metal. I've started to recently with the Twins. You know, they bring back Carlos Correa, and I was, you know, at first I was like, you know, there's no chance that he comes back, and maybe they'll find something else to do, and Correa wasn't even that great last year. I know, like, the advanced numbers will say that he was really good, but I just feel like the advanced numbers look better than what he actually did for the Twins last year, offensively primarily. But, you know, I thought it was a good contract. And I like that they've made other moves. Like, I think Joey Gallo, maybe just a guy that plays better in a smaller market. Something like that. You know, if he's Rangers Joey Gallo, that's going to be a steal for a year. And Pablo Lopez, I liked that trade too. Are there any actors and actresses that got you into movies and TV? Not really. I'm not really big into TV and movies. You know, I have my shows that I like, but no one particularly that I follow and like watch everything they do. Do I think Herbert, Lamar, Prescott, and Cousins are underrated? No, I think all four of those players are typically rated properly. Maybe Lamar sometimes gets more flack than I would give him. But the rest of the guys I think people have figured out for the most part. Let's see if Gary's interest in us changed. Oh, I like the D'Amico hire a lot for Houston, and hopefully, you know, I don't want to see that team continue to just suck forever, you know. Make something happen with those picks. I like the rookie class from last year a lot, but there's still a long way to go. Yeah, this backup running back spot could be tricky if you want to just focus on getting a dynamic guy, because Mostert went down a lot. I'd like to get somebody younger in the draft. Yeah, so let's go to Gary. He's asking for less money than Bosa, and I think he would give us plenty of ability there. And now he likes the scheme. So base 3-4 made it much better. So this would allow us to potentially trade away Harold Landry, at least give us the option of doing so. And make sure we have a really good edge rush going forward. So I want to make a really good offer here for Gary. And if we don't get him, the Texans might. So it's a little extra incentive. So we're in first place there. We're currently targeting, who do we got? We got Gary, Ridley, Lindstrom, Hardman. What do we got at linebacker? I know Devin White was available. So is Patrick Queen. Neither have much interest. I think I'm going to stay out of this one. Because Devin White, honestly, his ratings are like a more juiced up Zach Cunningham. Like a more athletic Zach Cunningham. He's still not great in coverage here. So it would be flashy, but I don't think it'd be smart. Shaq Thompson might be a better fit. What are his coverages? Not 73 and 62. Yeah. I think that for what I'm looking for, I'm going to stick to the draft. All right, let's go back to the overall board again. So, yeah, that's the other thing. We could go for a defensive lineman. Leonard Williams is an option. Clowney's very interested. Be the perfect mentor for Cedric Samuel. Yeah, we want to get serious about improving this run defense, right? Do I want to go 3 years? Basically, Jeffrey Simmons contract part 2. Yeah, I thought Clowney was on the Titans. That wasn't that long ago. I don't think I'd go 3 years on him at star dev. Maybe 1 year while I draft and work on figuring that stuff out. We'd have to increase the offer. That'd be a great signing for Chicago. I don't know if this one's gonna go our way though. Yeah, JJ Watt was also an option. Can play that same role for us. Just more of a well-rounded player, whereas I think that Williams would really help us in the run game. No one's interested right now in JJ. So let's maybe look at him in the next stage. And Clowney, even at 255 pounds, could still work there. Awareness is lower, athleticism is higher, strength is lower. Definitely feel better about him on the edge, but you can play him just about anywhere. I'm going to evaluate these. I'm comfortable with where they are right now. All right. First evaluation is done. And we have signed Rashawn Gary. That's a big one. Opens the door for potentially trading Harold Landry if we choose. But I think we missed on a couple. Wow, we didn't get Chris Lindstrom. 3 years and $36 million to go to the Giants instead. And Leonard Williams picks the Bears. Brandon Ayuk goes to the Panthers. I was also interested in him. Did Ridley? I don't think Ridley signed anywhere. Jalen Hurts to the Colts. How about that? Oh, that means we're playing him. Jalen Hurts does not play well in Madden, though. If you've played against Jalen Hurts, you probably see that he does not play well. He has a very passive style and tries to, like, check the ball down a lot. It's something in his traits. But I think I've never lost to Jalen Hurts in this game. Wow, the Bears just won the Super Bowl, but obviously had plenty of money, and now they can actually go get players. Clowney to Atlanta. Clowney wasn't in the league last year, right? Is he kind of like unofficially retired? Bosa picks the Falcons. Do I think that Jefferson can break the receiving yards record? It is way too early to think about that because Jerry Rice's record requires you to be like at the top of your game for like 15 years, and that's unpredictable. Like, you can't project that in any way. Chiefs or Astros being dynasties. Chiefs got a really good chance just because I think just that quarterback head coach combination is better there than anywhere else in the league. And despite the best efforts of their division rivals, they're still a team to beat. Yeah, I'm going to switch up the music now. I can handle this one a few times. Yeah, the Giants went and got Mike Evans, Devin White, Chris Lindstrom. That's exciting for them. Oh, boy. Look at all these teams that want to go get Calvin Ridley now. Hardman's also drawing interest. I think we're going to have to up our offer. While we're at it now, because we got Rashawn Gary, we should entertain offers for Harold Landry. He has been a little more injury prone. Still a really good player. The issue, I wonder, like, if we trade him away, do we still have to eat a lot of that cap next year? Not exactly sure how that works here in Madden. Would Riddick be a scheme fit if I moved him to the opposite side? Because in the 3-4 base, it's asking for one to be the power guy, one to be the speed guy, and the left outside is the power guy. That's traditionally thought of as like the strong side player. Yep. So I might have Riddick flip sides this year. Especially, I'm not sure it makes a difference. And then Samuel would be a better fit on the other side, because he's power guy. So Cedric Samuel is now a scheme fit, and Ola Adenayi, he is more the finesse. I should check Malik, because like quarterbacks do some weird regression in this game at times. I see he's got QB of the future tag now. What is with this? Why does this happen, Madden? This is something that has just started happening in the last couple of years. Appreciate the super chat, Brandon. Yeah. He threw 20 interceptions, that's why? Well, let's see if that happened for anybody else. Who's a quarterback who would have been fine? Let's go Kenny Pickett. He didn't regress. Favorite prospects this draft? I don't really have a favorite prospect yet in this draft. Well, not necessarily. I watched a few Alabama games this year. Oh, they didn't have a quarterback. I was waiting for something to load. Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, running back. Came there from Georgia Tech, and he is just such an explosive player. Check Ritter. This feels like it might have gone down. Yeah, I'm going to be fixing that. No need for the regression there. If it's even regressing the best young quarterback in our franchise suddenly. What are the Eagles going to do? Remind me to do it later on Willis. There's like 8 ratings or something, so I'm going to do it when I can take a screenshot and then do it. Okay. I want to return to free agency, if you don't mind. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more challenging now to get Calvin Ridley with the Dolphins in. Like, yeah, I'm willing to give Ridley a pretty big contract. But what does it actually take? 18 a year? All right, we're on Christian Kirk's level right now. And we're still below Miami. 18 probably doesn't get it done. $19 a year. Dude, I'm gonna have to trade Harold Landry for a receiver. Tagging him would have been 30, which I guess I could stomach for the year. The Dolphins don't even need him. Yeah, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, what are they doing? Still Gabe Davis, but I mean, I went through the available receivers the other day, and nobody else has the route running of Calvin Ridley is the thing. Who do I trust to get open on 3rd and 7, you know, in one-on-one coverage? I don't want to have to scheme everything. I want receivers who win on their own. So I wonder, is there a way for us to work our way up to potentially go get the number receiver in the class, the number 1 receiver in the draft? Because we already saw that Devian Bynes may fall outside the top 10. Is there a way to use Harold Landry and our 1st round pick to get up? Bynes ran a 4.4, very good 3-cone and shuttle. He is a good route runner. Like, when you compare any rookie and any available receiver right now, Bynes has to be one of the better route runners, right? A deep, A short, B medium. .62, 210, playmaker. I feel F injury too, man. Can I really have our best 2 receivers with F injury and be like, yeah, this is gonna work? He's a lot like Calvin Ridley, yes. Oh, dude. If that were just like a B injury, it's one thing. AJ Bingham had a really good combine. He's like a step down, just like the route running isn't as elite with him, but he seems to be better with the ball in his hands, which I think would be a lot of fun to have, you know, think about Sal Sexton, Traylon Burks, and a player like Bingham, just like the run after catch possibilities. Not quite the athlete, not quite the route runner. What is his injury to? A to B. We have to get a true number one receiver, I think. How much do teams like Harold Landry? I think it's going to be a little underwhelming. He's only an 84. Wow, Grady Jarrett. Kadarius Toney was offered. David Person. One step ahead of you, Rec. Thank you for the super chat. The thing is, though, I worry about Tony's injury rating at the same time. At least I know in real life, it seems like the hamstring's always a problem. Superstar Dev. Route running does need a little work. What's his injury? It's not awful. It's somewhere in the middle. Connor, appreciate becoming a member of the channel. Thank you. 6th month, or somewhere between 6 and 12. Tony's a superstar, though. Tony would be one way. Like, if we had Tony and Treylon Burks, we're not over here saying, like, we're screwed. Don't forget about Treylon Burks. He's done really well for us in this series. But he is only a 75 overall player with normal dev. He's good at certain things. Did the Bengals end up keeping Higgins? Because, yeah. I didn't see him become available when he was supposed to be a free agent. They just signed him to a 3-year. That was way lower than I thought it was going to be, too. So, we already had a nice offer for Tony that we should think about. I'm just going through more receivers. Yeah, Dolphins trying to get Calvin Ridley. For what? Bring back A.J. Brown. Panthers just signed Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, this is a pivotal moment in the offseason. I try to focus on teams that are not in like a good spot for trading. Eagles actually are in a bad spot right now in the series and just lost their quarterback, so they are actually an interesting like trade partner. Imagine the return of A.J. Brown. Were the Broncos? I know at one point last year they were 5-2. How'd they finish? Yeah, I'm gonna say Jerry Jeudy's off limits. What was Carolina? 9-8, didn't make the playoffs. Not so much for the players on our team, Nikki, just because I don't feel like I need to give any of our players a significant advantage. Sometimes I think about it for like CPU players that maybe like didn't get an award, but like they should get something for a fantastic season. Keenan Allen? I'm looking for somebody younger, somebody I'd be comfortable with on a multi-year contract. We're going to return to Ridley for now, although he is 29. Last offer I gave him was for 19 a year. If I bump this up to 20 a season, 3 years, $60 million. Dude, what did the Dolphins offer? Oh, am I blocking something? I'm trying to put my camera in the best spot depending on what we're working on. Camera where it is or camera down? This is rough. I might up my offer now for Hardman just because he's got the speed I like. He's not a bad route runner. What's 8.2 look like? Puts us right there with Carolina. All right. I mean, there is Gabe Davis as well, but the thing is he's not a dynamic athlete, and he's a fine route runner, better than Hardman. He wouldn't be bad. I don't know, for some reason I'm just not excited about adding like Gabe Davis. I want somebody a bit more dynamic. Like, he's a deep threat, but not a dynamic deep threat. And so he's kind of like an average slot receiver, and then this weird deep threat without a ton of speed. What's his catch in traffic? 86. Yeah, I think he'd be fine as well. And we have to also remember we missed out on Leonard Williams. So now, is there a defensive lineman we could offer to? We talked about J.J. Watt earlier, and for sure he would definitely be somebody I'd like for the upcoming season. See, anybody else catch my attention? Quite happy with the corner situation. I do have to bring in a kicker. Where'd Randy Bullock go? Yeah, I'd like an upgrade. The same. Oh no, he's got 96. Same as Will Lutz. Both are 30. How come they both have no interest, even though, like, Lutz has 2 positives? Doesn't like that we don't have a franchise quarterback. Matt Gay wants us to already have Super Bowls. Weird. All right, we're going to evaluate. We got 4 offers on the board right now. Matt Gay, McCole Hardman, J.J. Watt, Calvin Ridley. All right, 3 decisions were made. We have signed J.J. Watt and Matt Gay, but not Calvin Ridley. J.J. Watt to the Titans. Jalen Johnson to the Chiefs on a big deal. Calvin Ridley to Miami. And ultimately, he ends up taking less money to go there. A lot less money. To get Ridley, it was going to have to take me a lot. I offered him $20 a year. Well, I was never going to tag him because that's committing $30 million to a player before I see who's even available. And I put out a bunch of offers. So that's why I didn't franchise tag. I knew that we might have a chance to get a pass rusher or a player at a different spot. And I wanted him on a multi-year deal. Like, I really wanted Ridley for like 3 years. I thought he would regress pretty nicely. I wasn't concerned about that. So, we're going to have to figure this out in a more creative fashion, it looks like. So now it looks like trading Harold Landry as a part of a trade for a wide receiver is looking a little more necessary. Man, I thought it would be a lot of fun to go and try to make a run at Bynes, but I am scared of the injury risk. And it's just a lot to give up when we're not already in position to tag him. And I think like I'd want to give him a lot of volume and everything, and so it's not like there's a way I'm going to keep him away from getting hurt. So maybe trading for Tony is part of what we need to do. Let's take a look at our roster quick. Still have to go and add, I think, a dynamic running back. Multiple receivers, wherever we can get them. A tight end at some point. Yeah, we didn't get to upgrade the O-line either because we lost out on Lindstrom. So, we don't have a center. And then we got JJ replacing Danico Autry. Need some depth, though, along this D-line. And Jeffrey Simmons has gotten hurt, and I'm guessing J.J. Watt doesn't have the best injury rating at this stage either. 72? I need D-line depth. I'll go maybe get a Tyquan Lewis or something now. Nose tackles also, you know, is Parker ready to step into that role? We have pass rushers on the edge. We have that going for us at least. And I like our secondary. What's going on, Chris? I'll worry about numbers and stuff later on. Let's see, Fletcher Cox. I signed him in my Vikings franchise, and it was not a worthy signing, honestly. Shy Tuttle. Maybe. Yeah, I'll bring in, I think, Tyquan Lewis. I need that depth. That should be a home run, right? Ogbonnaya Okoronkwo, who scored the walk-off touchdown against us in week 2 on the interception I threw in overtime as Willis was hit. Autry's still out there if we wanted to have him back. He is a mentor, so I'm not against it if he's a mentor. Sheldon Richardson. I want someone better in run defense. Brent Urban was on the team last year. You know what? If he's still going to have that tag... D Ford plays edge. Yeah, I'll offer to Autry just for that mentorship. And Fletcher Cox wants $10 million this year. I have the space, but now I'm kind of at the point where I want to be able to hold on to the necessary money to roll over to next year. To make another run at free agents, potentially. What about Justin Jones as depth? And then do I have to revisit Hardman? Got a lot of teams here in the mix. I feel like I've made the offer I like. $9 million is very strong. Evaluate. All right. We bring in Tyquan Lewis. Justin Jones, and not McCole Hardman. He turned down 1 year, $9 million. And instead, Hardman goes to the Panthers. 3 years, $22 million. So, with the Panthers adding 2 receivers, maybe there's a little issue with them and DJ Moore. They've added a couple players. Maybe they're ready to make a move. Something to think about. I want to check his morale. How come his ratings are going down? Hey, it's lower than 50. It's enough to cause his ratings to go down. I'm gonna let y'all have some discourse while I go to the bathroom quick. Is it time? A lot of people still like Kadarius Toney as the option. And yeah, he's got superstar dev. He's got a lot of good things going for him. But I honestly think the DJ Moore trade is the one I prefer. He is a better receiver at this point. A little bit older. And we're looking for someone who can just be the dominant force in the offense. 2 years on his contract. Whereas Toney, I think, it would be 5th-year option time, huh? After this year. Why would they trade their top receiver? Well, the same reason the Titans ended up trading A.J. Brown. Why would the Panthers add all this money in receiver with David Person drafted early the year before and DJ Moore's morale is down? It'd be more of a slam dunk if he matched up with our motivations a lot. I am in on DJ Moore. How much do you guys like Harold Landry? Thankfully, it's green. Landry happens to fill their top need as well. I'm going to add in a 3rd-round pick to close that overall gap and make this a more reasonable trade. I think it's actually very reasonable as far as trades that are a bit out there. Let's see. Oh! We're not even halfway there. Also, their top second need is quarterback, too. So, I guess we must go for Kadarius Toney. I'm going to simulate a stage and see if I get any offers. You know, just see if, like, what if they offer me a package that includes... They're not going to include DJ Moore. I'm just going to sim it and see. What do we think of Gabriel Davis? He's certainly solid. Yeah, I mean, signing him to a multi-year deal, potentially not as difficult, but again, he has no interest in us. So you see 10 a year. We can't get him for 10 a year. Somebody else can. Do you want Gabe Davis at 16 a year? I don't think I do. I'm not a big Robbie Anderson guy. Do I have any targets? Autry. And then you got Chase Claypool, which is more dynamic than he's a more dynamic version of Gabe Davis, but less refined as a receiver while being like older. He'd still be a really good receiver for somebody. But again, he's not interested in us. But I think I have a good feel for what I want to do. Let's sim to the next stage. I feel like the role I'd be having Davis play is the one that I want to keep developing Treylon Burks in. Because I know I'm not going to be sitting here throwing deep balls to 90 speed Gabe Davis. In Madden, that's dumb. Let's check the mock draft. This is number 4. Not a ton of change. Bynes still drops to 11. Maybe that's the injury concerns, we'll say. I hope y'all don't take a quarterback in free agency and the draft. I have us going with Connor Rogers, a player that I have a second round grade on now. When I looked at him this morning. Decent strength in the running game. He is a good athlete, very good. But A, run block finesse, B, pass block finesse, B, pass block. What I was concerned with Rogers was where the pass block power would be. I have a second round grade on him based on what I know. But if I were to scout him more and the power's a C and the awareness is at least a B, then I'd probably bump him up. Also, the F injury possibilities. And also, that would be at tackle, where he would be an upgrade over Petit Frere. But we more so want somebody inside that can help out with our running game, and he's not a fit for moving inside. Nobody offered us a trade this week. All right, running this again. Got Tony. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't remember seeing Amon-Ra in that previous offer. But I don't think that he's quite the player in here that he is in real life. And when it comes to Madden, a player like Tony tends to be more valuable than a player like St. Brown. Yeah, I think it's Tony and not even close in Madden. Still got some things to work on. Superstar Dev helps with that. However, he's entering the 4th year of his career, so he's not going to upgrade quickly or anything. This is more or less who he's going to be for all of this coming season. And really, I'd think of him right now as more of the Hardman replacement than the Calvin Ridley replacement. And then he's going to have to get paid next year. After the year with Tony, it'd be 5th year option for a slightly better version of that skill set. And yeah, he's a fit in the slot where we have Burks play, so that would cause some shifting around. Dude, it'd be so much easier if the Panthers would just give us DJ Moore. I'm interested if I run the get offers on him. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Get Tony and trade up for Bynes? Well, the trading up for Bynes would require what it would take to also get Tony. I can't get both. I don't think that works. And with Tony, you do have a little bit of injury risk as well. Oh my. This is turning into a mess. I kind of love it though. I love when Madden puts me in a bind. I'm just curious about one thing when it comes to Carolina. They didn't seem to love Harold Landry. I don't suppose they really like Amani Hooker. Yeah. Just trying to see if they really liked a player and you can work a trade around them with more players. But they like DJ too much, it looks like. Maybe we take a look at Deontay Johnson. I don't really want another slot receiver that I have to give up a lot for. And I know Deontay's already been paid. I don't want his contract. Trade for Ridley. Yeah. The Dolphins. Why have you done this? Try Waddle. Bengal just got Jalen Waddle in his franchise. Of course I love Jalen Waddle too. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. Water. I got it. Well, we got offers at least for A.J. Brown to bring him back to Tennessee. Devontae has superstar dev. I don't think that it's going to work. A.J. has star. Oh, Gabe Davis went to San Francisco. We have a worse situation right now at receiver than the Green Bay Packers. We're going to have to do something by the end of this stream. It may end up being Tony. What playbook did I use for the Minnesota Dynasty? So that was custom. I built that one. That was a lot of pistol stuff that I just started to really gravitate towards and enjoyed playing with. Let's check the trade block. Josh Palmer, Nico Collins, De'Ami Brown, Justin Ross. I'm thinking about giving a 1-year offer to Chase Claypool to have another explosive starting caliber guy. But, put Landry in the trade for Waddle and then get offers? I think I'll stay away from Jalen Waddle for now. He's fantastic, but I think those high-priced receivers are just too much. I mean, I can take a look. But there were 0 offers before, so I don't think that it's going to change. Maybe it does. I think it's a lot like the DJ Moore situation. Oh, you can't put get offers now. I guess you can't do that in this game. That's an MLB thing. Oh, I can hit submit, of course. The trade will put the other team over the salary cap if accepted. I'd have to literally like get them to shed money in the deal. Like I'd have to also get Connor Williams. You can actually probably make something work there. You're over halfway here. But we're not going to be making that move. I didn't look at Godwin, no. Tampa, I believe, was a pretty good team this year. So I'm trying to trade with teams where I think it makes sense from a narrative standpoint. Tampa was one of the best teams in the league. I wanted to trade with Carolina because they missed the playoffs. Moore had slightly negative morale, and they've already targeted 2 receivers in free agency. And we could fill their top need with Harold Landry. I thought it matched up, honestly, pretty well. And it wasn't even close to going through. Receiver, running back, O-line. Still all needs. Not so much running back, like I want to get a fast guy at some point. O-line and receiver for sure. Defense doesn't necessarily need a starter, but you know, D-tackle isn't exactly strong, and it's a good class for a lot of those guys. And should try to make something happen here for Harold Landry soon. Let's move on to the next stage. Well, I've checked all the rosters for a receiver. I'm just not able to find anybody as good as like DJ Moore or even Tony that makes sense. And I already have a deal lined up for Tony if I want it. All right, 5th-year option. This is for Caleb Farley. And I'm going to pick that up. I think he's been outstanding for us. Would love to see him stay healthy and do the same in real life too. Stand pat with your receiver room and run option and pistol. See, there's always a way. There's always another way. All right. Anything else in free agency? I'm sure Mike Williams is still good, yes. Not necessarily, you know, I know with the lack of talent we have, we can't be picky about scheme fits, but he's not the type of receiver I'm looking for. I want a more well-rounded route running specialist. Trade for George Pickens. I don't know that Pickens is really a great trade target in this game, unless he has a higher dev that I remember. I saw someone say we should go after Kendrick Bourne, and I wouldn't be against it as, you know, this would be like a significant downgrade from Ridley, but he does have a more well-rounded skill set. This is like the 80 overall, less speedy version of Ridley, basically. I'm not against it. But now I have to make the call on Landry. Are we trading to get up in the draft? Or are we trading for Kadarius Toney? A known receiver with superstar development. There's certainly a high ceiling there. I just worry about, like, it comes down to paying him. And do I still have to worry about some of these weaknesses? His injury is 89, +4 right now. There must be a scenario or a coaching thing. Do I have that unlocked for my staff, the injury boost? I want to say it's like the first thing you get. Is it somewhere in here? Just got here. What I miss? Jared or Gerard? I'm gonna say Jared. Appreciate the 3-year membership, Jared. So far free agency's been interesting because right now we missed out on Calvin Ridley, we missed out on McCole Hardman, and we did get Rashawn Gary, and we're trying to now turn that into trading Harold Landry to potentially get a wide receiver that this team needs. All right, there's pliability. We have that. So we'd also have the +4. Check David Person. Yeah, they were offering David Person. The first thing I want to do is check on Sal Sexton's injury just to remember what it was. I want to say it was like 78. So he's playing at 82 right now, and we got to see his separate injuries last year. Yeah, it's just like, if Bynes had like a mid-80s injury and it wasn't just like the worst in the class, I'd still love to like build around Devian Bynes. man, I really like Bynes. It's only the injuries. Bynes and Tony is not a package that I think I can make happen with what I'm willing to do, because I don't want to sacrifice all these picks with how many more needs we have. Denali, a new member. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Got a member stream coming up here in February. It's a stream I do every month with the channel members where I talk about the channels and plans for the upcoming future. And I'm excited for this coming one because there's a lot I want to talk about in there. Sal was an F injury player, and my concern is just building an offense up of too many F injury guys. Or having too many low injury guys in general. Like, obviously, showed Caleb Farley here. I don't know what Jeffrey Simmons is, but he's gotten hurt a lot in this series as well. Rashawn Gary's isn't even particularly high. Take the risk. Bynes will have mid-80s with staff point boost. I'd love for him to come in and just have the same injury as Kadarius Toney, because I feel like we could turn him into a better player. Now, what is possible is a combination of trading for Toney, but getting my second favorite receiver. And that would be AJ Bingham. Who is also a really athletic playmaker, but he's going to need some refinement, just like Kadarius Toney. There's so many playmaker archetype players in this game, and you get a lot of skill set overlap. Not only is Bynes more the sure thing, but it's the really high ceiling, knowing he's a top 5 talent in the class. If that were even D injury, do I care as much? If he is a generational receiver, I'm going to be so upset if I don't get him. I don't think he's generational, but I think he's going to be really good. Well, if I knew I was getting Megatron, no amount of injury concerns would concern me. So, try a fast tight end at wide receiver. We can just move Sal out there or Chig and make it work. Why does this remind me of the Vikings in real life? Has too many holes with too little picks to use. And that's the issue with consolidating and turning 3 picks into 1. Oh yeah, we need to check out David Person because the Panthers were interested in moving him. Hey Kane, I just got done getting a 4-H pig. You've got a pig? Congratulations on the pig. David Person is a person with 89 speed. He's 6'3", normal dev. Person's fine. Good hands. Low injury too. Like very low injury. I don't think I'm in on David Person. Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw him, Tristan. Like, that looks like Traylon Burke's skill set. Look at Watson on the Fins. Drafting Bynes would allow you to develop him. If I could develop his injury, that'd be something. But yes, I could turn him into a really good receiver, I feel. Well, that's interesting. If I just hit get offers, like, they immediately go to Harold Landry. Or a first and third. Look at Watson on the Dolphins. Ron Watson. We're talking their fifth receiver here. 6'4", 218. 91 speed, 90 acceleration. Yeah, not a bad player, honestly. Like, let's say we didn't have anybody else added onto the team and we just had to get some more depth. Like, he's a player that you could develop if you played him. He has good hands, 91 speed and 81 release. The issue I have with receivers is when you start saying, well, his release sucks and his routes suck. When you combine multiple weaknesses. At least with Watson, it's only one weakness. I kind of like him. But I'm going to counter with Paul Taylor. Sure, Taylor isn't as good, and he has bad release. But this is the guy I'm developing right now. Man, I would love to go get Devian Bynes. Oh, this is getting drawn out, I'm aware. I might even do a trade during the draft. I'm advancing to the next week. Does age matter that much? It depends how developed they are. A 24-year-old who needs a lot of work versus a 21-year-old that needs a lot of work is very different. Oh yeah, I got private workouts still. I kind of forgot about that a little bit. I'm just checking the mock to see if anything has adjusted itself here. They still have the Patriots going Devian Bynes. They have Sidney Smith at 20. He's the all-speed guy. They have us going Connor Rogers still. Devian Bynes. All right, so I have to decide on my private workout players. I got a bunch of players here as a possibility that only have like 50%. One player I want a little more info on. Oh, I liked both Ramon Amaya and Terrence Jones. I think that Terrence Jones could allow us the flexibility to maybe get out of the Amani Hooker deal at some point or just become an upgrade. And if he's there in the third round, I think he'd be really interested, but I have a feeling he's more of a second round player. I'll go Terrence Jones. And then I want to go to right guard. Do I want more info on Gary Hookland this year? Because I might have to go get like a mid-round lineman. A run block finesse. D run block power. C pass block power. There were some centers that I liked. Wembley has like really bad injury concerns. Like he has a story, a draft story with how bad they are, but he's an elite athlete. And I gave him all in all a 3rd round grade factoring in injury. Probably a 2nd round grade without injury. I think that's a good point. If I complete AJ Bingham's situation, because he's my number 2, I think figuring out the gap between the two is probably a really good idea. Getting that 5%. So I'm going to go AJ Bingham. I'm going to go Terrence Jones. And then just looking at who else I might want to get info on here. Yeah, this is tough, man. This is going to be a interesting day. I was just really intrigued by TJ Beeson. I'm going to go with him. Trey Smith fell for injury reasons, now a top 10 guard. That's right. Injury concerns are just injury concerns. It'd be interesting if I was getting a guy like that later in the draft, but I know I wouldn't be. I have trade offers all of a sudden showing up. I'll take a look. Rashad Fenton, Pat Fryermuth, Darius Slayton, Allen Robinson. You know, it's a lot of the same players we've already seen. Kadarius Toney is still available. I do not want to trade for the corner that ruined our dreams. I'd rather not. I'm probably trading him during the draft at some point. I want to see one thing. All right. I want to go to the Patriots because they're the ones projected to land Bynes. And receivers, their top needs. So can we assume he doesn't make it past them? I want to see how much they like Landry. Did they first round pick like him? But like, I don't want it to go through if they really like him is the thing. I'm just trying to ballpark their interest. Can I do a get offers with him on there? Marcus Jones, Adrian Phillips. That looks like pretty good interest, honestly. Landry and 1 for their 1. If I wanted to go get Bynes. They have any low-rated players I'm interested in? Because I think I'm willing to take the risk and get Bynes. Tony's more of a sure thing, but he still has some holes in his game, and he's about to be high paid. I think I'm willing to make a move for Bynes if we can make this work. Oh, I hope he ends up there if we make the trade. Probably no other low players I want here. I would wait. Yeah, I should wait till they're on the clock. All right. Let's get on to the draft, everybody. I'm sorry for the long wait. I know it's been a long, drawn-out deal, but it's a tough decision. So many things to weigh, and I'm ready. I just want to check those individual workouts. AJ Bingham, solid round 1. All right. I do like Bingham a lot. A injury on him. And then I had further scouted the safety, Terrence Jones. Jones is a really good athlete at safety. I think he can play some slot corner with B-man coverage. Yeah, Terrence Jones gets a solid second round grade from me. I wouldn't even be against him late in the first round if you needed a safety. And then I gave my last one to a linebacker, TJ Beeson. I know he's a run stopper at 6', 250, but he has elite speed, elite acceleration, good strength. And I thought his coverage, you know, if it's at least in the C range, maybe over time it develops. But, like, if Devin White is as good as he is with, like, all speed and run stopping and barely any coverage, TJ Beeson could get there. Tony arguably has more long-term upside than Ridley, and you were willing to pay Ridley. Yeah, that's fair. But I think if we talk upside, Bynes has even more upside than Tony. Yeah, elite speed at 250 pounds. It said 4'6", which, like, that's not elite linebacker speed in 2023. It was probably 15 years ago. If he's like 88 with a tackle, a hit power at 250 pounds, like, imagine if Madden had like true physics and it mattered that he was built like 6', 250, moving as fast as he is. He'd be a literal cannonball on the field. Let's begin the 2024 NFL draft, everybody. This is going to be something. Oh, man. I feel a little uncomfortable right now, but we'll see how it goes. Mr. Dizo, thank you for becoming a member once again. Appreciate that. All the new members and everybody who's here today. 1,200 in the chat. Can we get to 500 likes before we get on with the draft today? All right. The Houston Texans pick first. Let's see what Houston opens this draft with. They were the worst team in the league, lost to us twice, and they go Antonio Harmon. The mock draft kind of takes away some of the excitement because it's so accurate. They should make the mock draft less accurate next year. Like a lot less accurate. The Saints at 2. Quincy Saunders. Was he mocked to go to them? I feel like that was higher. At 3. Ben Noel. So the Eagles have their quarterback now after losing Jalen Hurts to the Colts. The Houston Texans pick again. Luke Bolton, left tackle. I gave Bolton a solid first round grade. Next up, the New York Football Giants. Select Stephen or Steven. Never know which one to go with. Crowder. And I gave him a first round grade, but I wasn't thinking of him as a top 5 guard. Vikings at 6. Minnesota. Rakeem Townsend. Townsend had a story. He was the best edge in college football. He had a draft story for that. And Ben Knoll, who was drafted by the Eagles, was best quarterback. And Crowder was best guard. All right, the Chargers. The Superchargers select Eric Herrick, who was my second-ranked defensive tackle. I had a first-round grade on him. The Jets go Larry Richards at left tackle, and I had a late one on him, but I wanted more information. So kind of a risky tackle pick there for the Jets. The Lions, Montel Fitzsimmons. I had a 1 to 2 grade on him. The Jaguars will go Brian Barkley. I had a solid 1 on him. He was actually one of my favorite tackles in this class. Patriots are on the clock. And it could be trade time. The New England Patriots have to decide, do they want Devian Bynes or do they want to keep a first round pick but gain a very good edge rusher who's capable of double-digit sacks? Whoops, I have to throw in my first. All right, are we moving up to 11? I'm going to first offer. No, I'll keep this pick. It's going to take a little more. Of course it does. When do we get to Nico Autry? I know I offered, but I didn't see him ever accept. You take a future 4? No. How about a future 3? But you also give us a 6 this year. The deal is done. We have moved up in the first round with Harold Landry and a 3rd round pick, getting number 11 and 171 in return. And that is going to put us in position to take a massive, massive risk instead of trading for Kadarius Toney, a known quantity at this point, with superstar Dev in his mid-20s, still some holes in his game, but a great player to acquire. And instead, we are taking a home run swing at a player who has undeniable talent, but some noticeable injury concerns. Devian Bynes, welcome to Tennessee. 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 96 agility. We got that hidden development, but it's the injury rating. Like, a lot of times we're sweating hidden development or a specific skill. It's injury that we're sweating. We are now not on the clock until the 3rd round and late in the 3rd round. So there might be a point where I'm willing to trade up, but it is not going to be anytime soon. James Harrison. I was kind of hoping he'd go to the Steelers for obvious reasons. The Colts. Peter Cruz. I had a first round grade on Cruz, but I felt like I needed more information. Nick Jennings. Jordan Kellum. Ooh, a quarterback to the Dolphins. Is that why they got all the receivers? They ended up taking Shelton Cunningham. And I might have to make sure he's in position to play with the ratings. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to do anything weird. Wow, the Steelers took Sidney Smith, and he's going to have all speed, but he's like F catching, F route running, F everything. Tua was a free agent? Oh, if he's in line to just start, that would be really interesting. Oh yeah, that's right. We did see Tua in free agency. So let's assume he was like a mid-70s, because the CPU doesn't make as many like really bad first round picks. Like taking a 64 quarterback. Yeah, he's going to start day one. That's actually a pretty cool story for this year. And I'd like to check our schedule quick, because I think it already updated. Do we play Miami? Cowboys to start. Ravens, Patriots, Texans, Lions. We get Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Who do we close against? You know what? If it's not a division opponent, an AFC Championship rematch is the next best thing. Chiefs 2 weeks earlier. Play the NFC North, I think, this year. We got Minnesota on the schedule. All right, wrapping up this first round. The Chiefs are on the clock, and they go with Carlos Jowers. I had a second round grade on him. Kirk Lippett. So they end up still taking a receiver, and it's Kirk Lippett, who I had given a second round grade. I still think that Bingham is the second best receiver in this class. Zaire Brown. I don't think I graded him. He wasn't on my board. Greg Fusco. And the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears take Will Harrison, who was one of my favorite prospects, and I had a first round grade on him. So I think the Bears continue to improve. And now the Texans, to start the second round, John Cano. And I had a first to second round grade on him at tight end. He was my second favorite. Nick Schaub. Right tackle. I had a first round grade on him, and they took him in the second round. And Ramon Amaya. I had a 2 to 3 on him, but I liked him late. Corey Lockley. I gave him a first 2 second. He was the Mike Williams compared player. Kendrick Johnson. Connor Rogers. He was once projected to go number 1. Fell down the draft. I gave him a second round grade. He goes in the second round. Manny Jowers. Trent Ross. Derek Dixon. So there was a draft story on him. He was first team all-conference and best running back in college football. So a nice get there for Detroit. Daquan Griffin. We got a running back going to the Jags. I wasn't into this running back class, so I don't know about running backs going this early. Patriots. Lance Lucas, who wasn't on my board. Oh, there's TJ Beeson. I really want to see Beeson's ratings later, if we can remember that. Rashad Bingham, running back. Terrence Jones to the Bengals. All right, Colts. Do they take anybody we liked? Nope. Thad Harvin, running back. Go for it. You have Jonathan Taylor. Why would you do that? Bo Bridge. Zeke McLaughlin. I gave him a second-round grade. Why? You're gonna waste him. I wanted him to go somewhere cool. If I can't get a player, what I want to see is what is best for the franchise. What is the most entertaining result? Being buried on the depth chart somewhere where you're not going to play is the worst result. It's not good for me. It's not good for the story of the franchise. It's just bad. Second round quarterback to KC. You will see some weird quarterback picks after the first round. Open the floodgates. Here they come. The Dolphins took their quarterback in the first round, so we'll find out. Joe Smith to the Texans. I didn't even look at quarterbacks besides like late round backup guys, so I couldn't tell you if any of those picks were good. If the Texans quarterback could potentially start, I have no clue. We are in the third round now, and we're in a range where we could consider trading up if we want to. There's still a concern, I think, along offensive line. So, who do we have left and what are my grades? Marco Hurst. I had a third round grade on him. Greg Gore. I have a fourth round grade on him. Wimbley is extremely talented but injury prone. Third round grade. I have later grades on Vaughn and Barnett. Right guard. Hookland I couldn't even grade. I felt like I needed more information. Adams is a 5. No right tackles. So, nobody I'm trading up for here at line. How about defensive linemen? I have a 3 on Sawyer, a 3 on Kincaid, a 3 on Barkley. I'm looking to see if there's anybody left that has like a second round grade from me. Not really seeing it. How many players on my board overall? 34. And I know I have 2 third-round picks. Yeah, where should I move my camera during the draft? Just go back down? Do we just take all the really good injury-prone players and hope for the best? Bottom left? I mean, it's an option. If I... Can I flip it? That's the wrong flip. I still want it to look like I'm looking up at the game. So now I have to reverse everything. I still have my 3s and a 4, 2 6s, 2 7s. 93 and 96. Maybe use the 6s and 7s as a way to trade up. Undoubtedly, we're taking a risky route with this offseason. If I were to move up and try to get that center that has injury concerns, I don't think it's a good idea. Because he's not even in the top 60, apparently. He's way down the board. 99th on the board. So I don't think I have to move up right now. If the 99th ranked player goes, I just lose. There's also tight ends that I like. And I think it is somewhat important to have depth behind Sexton, knowing that he is kind of an injury-prone player. Let's see my tight end board and how that's looking right now. I totally agree with who cares, go get your guy. I generally agree with that. Stephen Fox, I have a 2 to 3 on him, so he'd actually be a pretty good value. I have a 3 on Brooks. I have a 3 on Burnham. Now, we have a Conquo, and I view him as like the backup to the receiving role of Sexton. So if I add another running back, I'd ideally get somebody who has promising run blocking. Now, tight end was not a heavy position of emphasis for me, so I'm not going to get necessarily specific on my grade. So on the right side, you can see who does have a good blocking grade. We have 2 known quantities there in Dominic Brooks and Jamie Burnham. And they both got 3rd round grades from me. So, elite strength with good speed and great acceleration for Brooks. We know he has B run block, C short route running. This would be the Manhurts role. And factoring in that there just might be injuries. Good strength, great speed, poor acceleration. B pass, B run. I like them both. It's hard to separate them when everything's within a range, though. They rank Brooks higher. Ninth on the board. Burnham's 18. Good speed, great acceleration. Great compared to poor is interesting. I need to just... Madden won't put in a compare players screen, so... I gotta do it my way. So, Burnham has A awareness. Brooks has a range of B to D, but I'm sure it's on the higher end of that range. Burnham could pass block. He has B pass blocking. Burnham could potentially have better short route running. Brooks is a solid C. I think we trade up for a tight end, Jared. That's what we're looking at right now. Brooks could potentially have higher run block power. His range is B to D. The center I like should still be available for quite some time. The tight ends will likely go soon. And there goes Jamie Burnham first. Kind of forcing our hand here. I'm willing to trade up if I can do it for late picks, is the thing. I'm not giving up a 4 to do it, but I will totally give up like a 6. And a 7. Okay. Want to play hardball, huh? Williams has a C, A to C run block. Yeah, I think that both would have been really good options to fill this specific role. I've had my eyes on these tight ends for a long time. I've already given up a 5, so it's hard to make this work. I can give him a better 6. I might just have to hold on and hope things go my way a little bit. Because at the end of the day, it's not like a massive need. But I think these players have some upside. There goes Hookland. All right, we're a few places closer. Yeah, a 5th round pick might be what I need to get there, and I'm not quite close enough. I don't want to give up the 4. Mitch McCain. He actually had a draft story. He's the Heisman winner. Yeah, that was it. Mitch McCain, Heisman Trophy winner, 3rd round corner. Sounds about right. All right, we got a little closer now. Carolina's on the clock. All right, we're on the clock. We had to give up our best 6 and our best 7. I don't have a bunch of UDFA guys that I'm targeting right now, so I'm going to move up. We're taking a tight end. Dominic Brooks. Very good athlete, it looks like. I don't expect his speed to be like overwhelming if he ran 4.7s. I think it's going to be like an 83, 84 range. 81. So it might be like, all right, why tight end here? Well, just based on who's available. I mean, I like the tight ends and I didn't like a lot of other positions. But just knowing how much I've put into these receivers that are a little injury prone, I want to go a little bit more on trying to add depth behind them. All right, chat's not a fan to this one. That's okay. The chat is fun when I'm doing drafts because, like, no matter what, there's a bunch of people who didn't like what I did. There goes Stephen Fox, and that could honestly turn into a Travis Kelce replacement. Not on the same level of Travis Kelce, or I had drafted him already, but I liked him. I actually had a higher grade on him, but I couldn't be sure about the run blocking, and I needed run blocking for sure in the player I took. I'm kind of considering trading down here if I got the right offer. So the players I still want to be able to get, I'd like to get Polite. I'd like to get Wembley. And then can I also get one of these defensive linemen? Orchard, I only have a 6th round grade on, but Cooks, I have a 4. Flowers, I have a 4. Really interested in Javier Cooks. But I think he'd be very similar to Rashard Walker. So, Wembley, I know it's going to be a good pick. It just comes down to do the injuries pop up. Let's take Chris Wembley. Hidden Dev at center. And 77 speed. 86 acceleration. So we're taking some of the more talented injury risks. Not just this draft, but in the series. We're swinging for the fences on these guys. But I'm quite happy getting a Hidden Dev receiver, Hidden Dev center. And now nobody that we would be drafting is going to be a starter. So now it's all about depth and role players. James Gardner. I think he might have been on my board. I did not write down running back notes because I didn't really care. But I think he was one of 2 running backs on my board. Polite. Yeah, you guys are reading my mind. I want Polite. And I'm not going to be polite about it. I don't know when he goes because he's projected to be undrafted, but his talent says rounds 2 to 3. So somewhere. If I could get Polite and a defensive lineman, still I'd be pretty happy. But Polite, I think on special teams he would play, and he'd be a gadget player on offense. We would get more out of him than a backup D lineman. So now it comes down to, do we try to trade up just to get him? And that depends on the price. So I know once you get later in the draft, it becomes really easy to trade up. But are we at that stage where we can get up for a 6th or 7th round pick already? Yep. Yeah. When you get to the 4th round, it kind of gets easy. We know that his talent grade is already better than a 4th round. Which I'm curious about what is going to be really good, because his draft profile is honestly not that great. But what's strong is very strong. Rashad Polite is an elite runner, elite acceleration, 4.3 speed, A kick return, B juke, B spec catch, B run blocking somehow at 5'8", 177. And I think I'd move him to running back and play him in a hybrid role. Who did I do that with in my Broncos series? Who was the receiver I took that I moved? He was a Baylor guy. It's kind of that move, except for he's way more athletic. I know I did that with Deion Price. I'm talking about a different guy, actually. We know Deion Price. Who was Antoine? Not Antoine Wesley. I think his name was Antoine something. Come on. I know y'all can figure this out. He was a Baylor receiver. Come on. This is taking too long. Antoine Bayless? It wasn't Anthony Hampton. It was the Broncos series. Kendall Wright was a Baylor receiver, I'll give you that, but it wasn't him. Baylor. I can't believe I'm stumping you guys. Last name wasn't Hampton. All right. I'm looking. I wonder if he went undrafted even. This is so obscure and unnecessary. Antoine Goodley? That was it. Antoine Goodley. Was that worth it? No. Rashad Polite joins the team. The lefty. Keep in mind, he's a left-handed. I think that he's going to be an interesting player. Another player, though, that's a big risk. Because he's not going to fit into an easy receiving role. We're going to have to figure it out. And change his sleeves. And he's 24, yes. But he's got 96 speed. So now we have a 6th round pick. That's it. We've given up all the depth in this draft. We're hoping the undrafted players knock it out of the park for us. I still got one pick. Greg Gore just went. I had a 4th round on him. Okay, he's in the 4th. Let's see my board, because I might not have to go one at a time any longer. I got 16 players. There's a kicker that we don't need. Vernon Moss. Anybody above a 50? Because that would be somebody I have a lot of info on. A quarterback. Kenny Galloway. And I really wasn't a fan of Nick's. It says 3 to 4, so I'm clearly missing something, but I looked at his stuff. Tell me if I'm wrong. I gave him a 7th round grade. He's 5'10", 198. He's just a solid athlete. Nothing spectacular. They really, had a slow stopwatch at his pro day. And he's got F break tackle, F release, F deep route running, D medium, C short. Okay, he's 3rd to 4th round talent based on something. But off what I see here, not special athlete, not a special route runner. 7th round pick is what I gave him. And his talent is 3rd to 4th. Castaneda, I gave a 6th round pick, or a 6th round grade. Austin Flowers is still a 4. So is Javier Cooks. Orchard is a 6. So maybe I maybe I sim until one of Flowers or Cooks goes and then see if I care about moving up. Which would require a future pick. Not exactly in position to be doing that. Now, one thing that's unfortunate is I don't think I can make any free agent moves now. So when we simulate to the preseason, the best free agents, the CPU gets first dibs, basically. So if I want to go get like a Kendrick Bourne, I'm sure he's going to be signed. So if I cared enough, I should have already gotten Kendrick Bourne. But I think now, seeing who we have, I'd like Kendrick Bourne. Castaneda's gone. I gave him a 6th round grade. It was honestly a better way of going about the draft than any other way I've done it. Cooks is gone. Flowers. Flowers is still there. I've already traded like twice with New England. Where's Flowers on the board? I like to take him with my 6th round and be done, but I don't know if it's going to be that simple. There are other D tackles on the board, though, which is always nice because they are more likely to go earlier. Flowers is 42nd available. Like, it's really close if he'd be there in the late 6th. Unlikely. I don't think I should be trading up for backups, though, that don't have, like, something elite. Hey, the only cornerback I liked in the class, the only one, just went to the Colts. It's so weird how I can stream for 3 hours and it doesn't feel like time has passed at all. You know, there's a lot of things I do where 3 hours goes by and I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling that was 3 hours. For some reason, streaming is not like that for me. Time just melts away. All right, we're into the 6th round. I need to find some more stuff to stream because, like, I pulled up, you know, I have to set up the stream here, and I can go and choose, like, do you want to reuse settings from a previous stream? And I'm like, yeah. Like, my last 4 streams were member streams. I haven't streamed on this channel publicly to everybody since the last offseason. And it's not like I've been streaming on the 2nd channel either. Ideally, on the 2nd channel, I would like to do some sort of rebuild stuff there. And maybe I'm getting closer to figuring out what to do with stuff like the renovation rebuild picking up. And I'd love to go back onto older games and do more rebuilds like that. And just, you know, I'll pop in whatever Madden. We'll spin a wheel and figure it out later. And just go build a team. Hey, Kane, been watching since the Rams franchise. Your content has always been top tier. Can you give Bynes the Travis Etienne equipment? Travis Etienne. All right, he's got the arm tape. I might be down just because I'm a Travis Etienne fan. I was looking at Clemson pictures. I really struggle to know what players' looks are without looking them up. shiny hunt, Kane, you won't. I haven't done any shiny hunting in a little bit. Every year I go through a phase where I'm like, I gotta play Pokemon for a month straight. Almost made it. I still haven't picked up Scarlet or Violet. I'm waiting until, like, I have an itch to play. So I still have some options. Jaden Barnett is a 7th round player on my board. Bernard Orchard I have as a 6. Let's go through Orchard because he's the only tackle available. So he runs like a nose tackle, which is fine. As long as you can stop the run. There are some B to Ds here. There's B tackling. I think he's worth a 6th round pick. .88 strength. Speedy center at tight end. I know. Might work. Next year in the draft, I think we're already missing a 3rd. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, Braden, I appreciate that super chat. I think we can sim this to the end. I'm not moving up for anybody. That was fun. But now we got to evaluate the draft. See what I did do, see what I didn't do. Why is it like chugging here as it tries to finish off the draft? Thankfully, the EA servers haven't been too much of a problem when they were earlier when I was messing around. All right, draft recap. What do we got? Number 1, Devian Bynes, 79 overall. We got Dominic Brooks, only a 65. Chris Wembley, a 74. Rashad Polite, a 70. Bernard Orchard, a 64. All right. Here he is. Devian Bynes out of Oregon. Really excited to see what he brings to the table. So, obviously there's a little morale right now, but his route running is already comparable to Kadarius Toney. Toney's a little better athlete, a little faster. Bynes, though, 93 is really good. 73 release. But, I mean, if we can fix morale, he's already got 2 route runnings in the 80s. All of his catching ratings are in the 80s. But we want to know, what does F injury mean? The number I'm looking for... Can I get 85? He has a little juke and spin in his game. So I got 85, and that's with the +4. So it will stay at 85. All right. What was Toney's? I forget if Toney's was 89 or not. Yeah. I think it would have been a slightly different trade if Toney were a little younger and it was easier to develop him more. You can still develop Toney, but there are, like, you know, all the route runnings could get better and the release. But you're also paying big money after just 1 year. And it was like, that would be fine. That would be like a real B to B+ type move. I was trying to shoot for the moon here with this move to go get Devian Bynes. All right, Dominic Brooks. Nobody liked this move. And maybe it wasn't a great one. 63 run block is not bad to start out with, especially. And I think that he can fill that Manhurts role. Not too worried about that. We'll focus a lot on the blocking side of things with him, but he should be able to play a little bit. All right, Chris Wimbley. Hidden Devs center. Injuries are going to be an issue. Power is also an issue for him, which is a little unfortunate because power seems to just hurt a lot more than the finesse does, especially in the running game. Outstanding athlete. He could be out at tight end. Ooh, that injury is seriously low. And I had to know. I mean, he had a draft story about it. He has 71 injury. So, might want to make sure we have a backup center that can play. Rashad Polite. He's a playmaker and a deep threat. 96 speed, 96 acceleration. Do you consider a move to running back for Rashad Polite? And ditching the Sam Bradford sleeves? I brought him in to be a gadget player and a versatile playmaker. And before anybody can say it, yes, we'll see his overall at running back. Even though his carrying isn't great, his ball carrier vision isn't great, I don't expect this to really go up. 69. So it's better at receiver. But I think I could play him in both spots. But to do so, I have to first list him at running back. So I might be moving him to receiver to do upgrades. I might have to be really creative with that. But he's a creative player. Rashad Polite. And then we finish it off here with Bernard Orchard. 88 strength. 69 finesse is really interesting there. So he's a developmental guy, but I like that finesse already being up there. That's pretty cool. Let's go through the draft. 80 up top. Antonio Harmon, D-tackle to the Houston Texans. They got a player who can first and foremost stop the run and then beat you as a pass rusher. And eventually he's just going to be able to do everything at a pretty high level. Injury concerns are there. Quincy Saunders, 77. Here's the quarterback that went to Philly. Normal dev, Ben Noel. Replacing Jalen Hurts. Luke Bolton, a 71. I did like him. He ended up having hidden dev. Has some work to do too. Crowder, 72. Townsend, 71. Oh yeah, I'm covering up names now. Let me flip my camera back around. Brian Barkley, Bynes, 79. So we ended up getting, we know he's a top 5 player. He was the second best rated player. Wow. That's different running safety? Oh yeah, it was Jones, not Ross. I saw the T. I knew the first initial was T. Okay. AJ Bingham, a 76. I was right about him being the second best receiver. Normal dev, though. You could earn it. You could earn higher, but he doesn't start with anything else. He's very good. All right, let's go back in order. Here is the Dolphins quarterback, Shelton Cunningham. Hidden Dev, Portland State, the Vikings, I believe they are. 99 throw power to go with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, AJ Bingham, and Calvin Ridley. Wow. So this is actually a very cool story. They went with the anti-Tua. They're like, Tua in this offense, this doesn't work. We're getting a guy who can throw it 80 yards downfield now. Oh my God, he can run too. Oh, wow. They got an awesome offense now. That is awesome. I love seeing the teams in the series do cool stuff. All right, 65. Oh my. So my second round grade was right. He must just not have enough other things he does well. Hey, when it comes to 65 overall receivers, this one's going to scare you the most. I know, like, he actually isn't even a second round, like, player. If he's a 65, that's like a fourth or fifth. Troy Williamson here. Pemberton, Clayton. What else we got here? Kirk Lippett, 74, went to the Patriots. So how'd they do? They got a hidden dev receiver still. Deep route runner, big time playmaker. Pretty good. I wish it didn't bounce me back to the top all the time. Just another thing in this drafting and UI that needs to get better. 76 on Will Harrison, hidden dev. I really liked Will Harrison. I think Chicago got a pretty good player. He's on a team that can develop wide receivers. That is true. Is this Mike Wallace part 2? '74 overall tight end going to the Texans in the second round. How about Ramon Amaya? Hayden Dev. Really well-rounded. Go to rounds so you don't get sent back to the top? Yeah, I probably should now. That's a good call. Thank you. All right, how close to Mike Williams are you, Mr. Lockley? You have hidden dev. 90 speed. He's actually got a, like, good moves and like run after catch skill. I don't think that's bad if you want a receiver with that skill set. '73 and '74 overall running backs. This ended up not being too bad. How about TJ Beeson? Hidden dev. 6 foot, 250 with 87 speed, 84 tackle, 82 hit power. So he's kind of like Denzel Perriman. Kind of short, fast, run and hit. Terrence Jones ended up being a 75. So I was in the right, I was in the right area with these safeties. To me, Terrence Jones would have been like the perfect, like, playing a third safety, like putting Derwin James out there to cover tight ends and play in the slot. I thought Terrence Jones was that same guy. And yeah, that's why I wanted a little more info on him, because it was like, ooh, he's just too good. But the tackling and hit power isn't quite what you'd want to be like playing in the box or near it all the time. So I think it could get there. I like Terrence Jones. Yeah, 66 quarterback here for the Chiefs in the second round. And like these other quarterbacks that went, no, this was not the right move either. Oh, Texans, come on, guys. Come on. So, third round, we're going to want to look at these tight ends primarily, because I took one who's probably not going to be a good overall. That's so different. They looked very similar in the rankings. Oh, no. No. How is the gap that wide? Nowhere did I see it was going to be like that. How did that happen? 73 hidden to 65 normal? I thought it was a coin flip. And he went to the Jaguars, yes. Wasn't Burnham ranked lower on the board by 9 spots? So I would have had to have been willing to give up a lot. The Heisman winning corner, by the way, does have hidden dev. He's just the slow slot corner who won the Heisman. Played for Texas. I don't know. That's quite shocking to me. That's a miss. That's a bad miss. I had them identically graded. Back to the drawing board on that one. So Burnham's faster. Not stronger. All right, I got the stronger tight end. Might be the only advantage. And yes, I think there was, tight ends that went later. All right, Fox was a 66. I had Fox graded better than Burnham and Brooks, but I could not clarify run blocking. And it turns out he will not be replacing Travis Kelce. Let's forget that idea. He's just an okay backup tight end. I had a 2 to 3 on him. There's also Cedric Williams, and I'm probably going to get mad when I see it. I had him on my board. All right. That's a good running back. James Gardner. Stockton a 66 at tight end. When did he even go? he slide out of the 6th round? Or the 4th round? Hey, Javier Cooks, 70. Not hidden, right? Okay. Would have been really good. Devontae Singleton, only corner I liked. He went 6th round to the Chiefs. Okay. Yeah, I like Singleton. Man-to-man corner. Really solid. Good pick for them. Just being thorough here. All right. There he is. Cedric Williams, 65 overall. No. No. Brooks is better than him. What's this song? It's called Nimbus. It's from the YouTube audio library. And looking to see if there were any interesting steals late, possibly. Can I get anybody in the 70s? Dalton Taylor to the Ravens. Hidden development. Nicely done. Getting a deep threat at that stage that's playable is shocking. And in the 7th, 70 receiver. Who is Mr. Irrelevant? Mike Aldridge. They go with a quarterback. Look at the Heisman winner and see if he can play receiver. Not a bad idea. Although he wasn't like an athletic freak. I'll see. Just in case. $39 overall. I don't think so. And if he's a 39 receiver, I don't think he's going to be any better at running back. Yeah. He's just underwhelming. So, all in all, I wish we had gotten Jamie Burnham. I can't believe he was that good. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'll take a brief look at free agents. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I'll do the Malik Willis ratings. All right. Oh, Kendrick Bourne is still available, and he probably would be a good player for us to add. We need a backup. I should add Josh Dobbs. If I want a little speed, though, I wouldn't mind Taylor Heineke. Bryce Perkins. Heineke isn't bad. Kirk has mentor. Ooh, he does. Dobbs doesn't. Anybody with speed have mentor? How's the XFL game going, by the way? Geno Smith at 59 overall does. 59, though, is what you have to go to. You could bring in Kirk. Where are Geno's accuracies? I mean, it's unlikely the backup even plays. We could sign Geno. And then for a veteran presence at receiver, totally down with Kendrick Bourne. Probably is the best overall available, but I'm guessing he's also one of the better route runners. Yeah, top to bottom. Tim Patrick's also cool. I'm gonna go Kendrick Bourne though. Let's see, maybe some undrafted guys, huh? Got a couple rookie quarterbacks here, Cedric Pierce and Brian Kowalski. I'll go for the speed of Cedric Pierce. I might want both. He's got Scrambler too. Oh yeah, we did have like a UDFA quarterback with hidden dev. I can't remember who he was though. Sean Godwin. Well, he's got the speed and acceleration. And he can catch. Yeah, this is going to be awesome in preseason. Sean Godwin, are you kidding me? Steve Winston out of Memphis. I'm really in my element right now. Wide receivers. What if I sort by catching? Byron Bentley. Good short route running. That's an 80. How about medium? Heh. I had a 7th round grade on him, and he went undrafted. And he was also projected to be like a day 3 pick. Bentley has future starter tag? Really? That's kind of interesting. Increased XP during weekly training. Sign. I know he's a 2nd-year player. Maybe I can also find a rookie. Good catch, everybody. Yeah, he's got 81 catching here. Lamar Bradley. Who's this guy? Brandon Stills from West Georgia. I love looking at undrafted players. I just want to do like an undrafted rebuild again and have too much fun doing this. Yeah, I might cut this a little short because I do want to get out of here and get some dinner. But let's take a look at our roster as it is right now. So we got our quarterbacks. At running back, you know, we could have Rashad Polite maybe get some snaps in here, and hard to see anybody taking too many carries away from Derrick Henry. At receiver, Kendrick Bourne, Devian Bynes, Traylon Burks, Kyle Phillips, Byron Bentley. Without McCole Hardman, there's a chance that somebody else gets some snaps just to get some like speedy touches. So there could be an interesting player at some point in there. Tight end. Got to get some O-line depth. Then we got J.J. Watt. Move some players to right end, probably. Not sure yet who starts at nose tackle, but it could be Rashard Parker. But if it's bad, we might have to play Justin Jones. Rashawn Gary. Still got Cunningham and Rice. Terrell Riddick. Fulton, Farley, McCreary. Byard and Jarrett. Or Barrett. I wanted to go back to free agency quick. Yeah, we can check on where Bentley's story is. I want to see practice squad eligible and sort by man. Oh, well, I'm going to bring back Javon Bernard. It's hard to sign these guys, like, at a normal time. You have to do it here, pretty much, because they want too much money. Any versatile safeties out there? 68 man. 66. Chance Walton. Here's the best undrafted center, Tyler Vasquez. I kind of like him. He's got good pass blocking. I don't even think he'd have to be a practice squad guy, because I think that if, like, our center got hurt, the first thing you worry about is, oh, God, now we're going to get sacked a million times. Like, this is an undrafted player who you could play. Let's see if the same could be said perhaps for one of these guards that's available. We got DeAndre Turner. Central Michigan. All right, the run blocking, is it in the 60s? Oh, what the player that was below him? J.C. Dickens. What is up with your hair, sir? What is the... I've never seen this hair in Madden in my life. Got a little bit higher ratings in a couple areas. Kind of liked him, though. Not quite as strong. but a little more well-rounded. Better lead block. I'll go J.C. Dickens. And at tight end, what do we got here? Larry Christmas. Oh my God. It rhymes. Imagine him on like a 60-yard touchdown. Ho, ho, ho. Larry Christmas, everybody. Going to the house. Your house. With a present. He's got some speed. I'm going to sign Larry Christmas. He's making a list of end zones to go to. That's right. Possibilities are endless. Let's sort by strength. Pat Bridge at 58. 68 speed, though, is low. I might be done there. Vikings are on the naughty list permanently. Last thing we'll do is just check the backstory on that receiver, because that was interesting to see an undrafted guy with that tag. I don't even know if that's going to stay there. Byron Bentley. He played last year for Arizona. He had 6 touchdowns. He was previously undrafted. But he's a leader. All right. Interesting that he became available. He returned kicks. He actually played a lot. Kind of an interesting guy to think about, because right now he'd be the 5th best receiver. Now, you got some work to do to pass up our guy Paul Taylor, but probably makes the team. And we're going to sort out more of that once we get through the preseason. I'm probably going to be streaming this. So, this coming week, I'll do the edited off season. I'll look to stream some preseason and get us ready to go with year 3. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the off season. That was a lot of fun. And I will have a video coming out tomorrow on the 2nd channel. That's going to be a Vikings episode. I'm really happy with that video too, so definitely check that out. I will fix the ratings for Malik Willis and continue to look at undrafted players that can make our preseason times fun. I had a good time. Ready for year 3. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thanks for spending some time with me tonight. Have a great day.